Hey guys, what's up? It's Nico here, and today we have Matt Cory, who took his wife's Christmas present and turned it into an income-producing asset. Again, as always, the links to this episode is in the description below if you're on YouTube, or in the show notes if you're in a podcast player. So what's up, Matt? How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing, Nico?
Good. So let's start. Tell me about yourself and what is it that you make?
I make a lot of things. Lately, I've been doing a lot of cosplay related things, but
Mm-hmm.
I've also done some mechanical stuff, a lot of custom things. I've got a couple of customers that actually send me files that they design and make them solid, make it happen.
Sweet. So you're doing print services and you're doing you're selling physical prints of cosplay stuff, right? For like
Yeah.
so when you say cosplay, do you specialize specifically in something specific like Halo, Batman?
Currently, I'm working on two different projects. I'm just finishing up a Halo ODST armor parts and pieces for a guy that's in another state, and then I'm also working on a Wolverine costume, kind of a cross between Wolverine and University of Michigan, unfortunately, but for a opening of a comic book store that's going to be coming up in Ann Arbor, right near the university. So we'll be doing that this weekend, actually. So
Nice, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So if you don't mind me asking, how much are you making monthly or per year on your little side gig there?
um monthly, I don't really keep track. I just kind of do a yearly roll up. I mean, maybe a couple of grand at most. I mean, I don't do a lot of stuff, so it's more of a paid hobby, I guess, at this point than a full blown job.
Cool, but it does bring in some extra income, right?
It does, yeah, yeah. Of course,
Perfect. So
expenses
how'd
and
you come up with the idea to print this stuff? So you said you're doing some mechanical stuff,
Mhm.
some print services, and some cosplay. How did you come up with those ideas?
Well, it's my wife's fault. She bought me my first printer for Christmas a couple of years back, probably about 4 years ago now, and started
What kind
printing
of
some.
machine?
Pardon?
What kind of machine?
It was an Affinity at the time, and
Okay.
was it worked well for a little while, and then it stopped working, and it wasn't repairable. They wouldn't honor the warranty, so I don't really endorse them much at all.
Okay.
So I moved on to an i3 clone from there. I had a couple of people that wanted stuff. They're like, "Hey, that's kind of cool, this whole 3D printing thing. What can you do?" I'm like, well, "I can do all kinds of stuff." And it kind of branched out from there. Since I've designed and built two of my own Delta style printers,
Hmm.
um, and those are my main workhorses. They run right now. I got it stopped, so it's quiet, but they run a majority of the time.
That's cool, man. So how did you get your first clients, your first customers, for traffic?
Friends mainly. Couple of one of the guys at work wanted a like a Han Solo pistol, so I did something like that for him. Then another guy wanted kind of an odd request. I thought he wanted a hand. Like, what do you want a hand for? And he wanted the hand actually hollowed out on the back side for like 1/8 inch holes, three of them, and then he wanted key slots in the wrist. Well, he ended up mounted on the side of his shed underneath his bottle opener, so it collect the bottle caps as they fell, and it worked out great.
Oh wow,
So,
check that out.
yeah, like, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. So stuff like that's kind of where it started. A lot of it I picked up just off Facebook and the different pages and stuff like that. Someone will say, "Hey, can somebody print this for me?" And I'll just shoot them, a PM or whatever, and go from there.
That's cool, man. So it's a lot of just word of mouth, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. I don't advertise at all. I do have a Facebook page dedicated to my 3D printing, but I don't use any advertising or anything like that. I just kind of, when I'm going to be getting slower wrapping up a project, I'll start looking around a little bit, and just kind of pick and choose when I've got the time and what I feel I can get done in a reasonable amount of time. The biggest problem lately is just time.
Gotcha. Yeah. So time management is one of those parts of my course that I teach people, right? They're like, man, I have a full-time job. I got all these things. So that's why time management was lesson two in the business course that I teach. But that's for later. So what happened next, man? After you got your first clients, what happened next?
Um, well, that's when I decided I had the first couple of prints were relatively small, mostly stuff for myself, a few other people and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, I could probably make a few bucks doing this. That's where I designed the first printer, and so I could do larger things because everyone's like, well, how big can you print? And it was just a little i3, so I had like a 200 millimeter cube for a print volume. Like, well, I can do little pieces and glue them together, but after a while, that gets a little bit old.
Right.
So the first printer that I built is 400 millimeter in diameter, print area by about 400 tall. So that was a huge improvement.
So it's kind of
And
like a CR10S4, right?
um, I guess I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that particular
Yeah.
printer.
So these machines behind me are S4s.
Okay, no, this is a Delta.
Got
So
it.
Delta style printer. But I do have a an under five excuse me, under 5 plus
Those
that
are
I
pretty
just
big. Those are a good size.
yeah, I needed something additional. My other two, one of them was having a little bit of a mechanical problem I didn't have time to look into at the time. I was too backed up. So I just went out and got another printer. So I'm up to about 6 or 7 printers now total, including
Oh,
resin
cool. So
printers.
you got a little mini print farm there, man.
Yeah, still growing.
Nice. Yeah. So the more machines you have, obviously, the more you can ramp up production. Um, and did you get any belt printers for your production? I mean, you don't seem to be producing something that needs to be constantly produced at like, at a mass level.
Right. No,
So
I
I don't
haven't
think a
looked.
belt printer would be right for you.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the belt printers too much. I've seen them, and there's a guy actually that lives just in town here. I just saw a post from him yesterday, as a matter of fact, that he just converted his Ender 3 to a belt printer, and so I'm
Oh,
kind of interested to see how that works out for him.
oh, I didn't know you can do that.
I didn't either. So it looked like he used almost the entire framework, minus a few pieces to get the angle and stuff like that. Still had the Ender 3 controller on it. So I'm not sure if he did a firmware upgrade at that point or exactly if it's just all in the slicer from there. I don't know. So I'd be kind of interested to see how this
Huh.
works out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I guess you can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess you can do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, oh wow, that's pretty smart.
yeah, it looked decent from the picture that he posted. So
Yeah. So tell me about the struggles, man. So what were the first struggles you had when you first started?
um, well, the learning curve obviously going from zero is kind of steep when you got to print for other people.
Hmm.
And I'm really little on the anal side about the print quality that I'm going to send somebody. So if it's not where I want it, it goes in the trash and start over. So trying to do that at first took a little getting used to and getting things dialed in. But once I got to the point, like right now on my one Delta, I got the two Delta printers that I built. I got a red one and a green one. On the red one, I can just hit print, and after it purges, as soon as it starts moving towards the print plate, I can walk away and close the door and not come back for 2 days and come back to a completely finished print with no
Hmm.
flaws. But the other one is a little bit hit and miss, so I'm still working out. There's some sort of mechanical issue on that one I got to figure out yet, but in
Yeah, so
time.
each machine has their own personality, is what I've
Sure.
found.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
like people.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're
um,
definitely a constant battle. But
yeah, man. So currently, how does the business make money? Right? It's not like a full blown business. It's definitely a side hustle. But
right.
how does the side hustle make money now?
Um, like I said, right now my big thing is in cosplay stuff. A lot of people are like in accessories, or like I said, I'm finishing up this ODST armor for a guy. Another guy wanted a helmet of somebody else. Just odds and ends like that, just parts and pieces for costumes and accessories, things like that.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's cool, man. So do you still make money off of print services?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a guy actually locally here that I've done several prints for over the last probably year or so, who's into fishing, and he wants me to
Hmm.
print some molds with a high temp resin so that he can use them to cast.
Yeah, and then
Really,
he'll just put a silicone in there or whatever material
yeah,
he's using.
yep. So
Smart,
I printed
smart.
a few in the past, and he was going to get them machined out of aluminum, but I got a feeling that was a little bit cost prohibitive in the long run for him. So he's wanting to do some new stuff. I'm waiting for him to send me some files any day, and then I'll pick up some. I think it's the Cereatech cast. I think is their higher temp resin. I'll
Okay,
probably pick up
okay.
some here shortly and try it out.
So are you doing design services as well?
Some, yeah, yeah. I'm not.
And what are you using for software?
Unfortunately, you asked me that. the cheapest, cheesiest program I found. Really, it's from Autodesk. It's no longer supported. It's called 123D Design.
I used to use that.
I designed my Delta printers with that program alone. No other help from no other software.
So I used that before, and I was like, "Dear Jesus, I can't. I can't use it."
It works from the way my mind works. It works great for me. For some reason, I can't wrap my mind around Fusion 360, and I've done a lot of 3D stuff over the years, but I just haven't. 360 is just not fitting in my head yet. So
gotcha.
I did sign up for your Blender courses, and I do need to get through that one of these days. I just need to find the time.
Blender it's free. It's incredibly powerful. I can't say enough about it. It's such a good program. So what's working today in terms of marketing, man? What's bringing in more customers aside from word of mouth?
A lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in, sometimes I'll post occasional picture or something on there that I think might perk some interest. Not just in trying to drum up business, but just trying to show, 3D printing can be as good as resin cast pieces in a lot of respects.
I agree. So you got into resin printing. What resin machine are you using?
I've got a Elegoo Mars and a Saturn.
Top of the line, man. Best in market.
Yeah, my Saturn's going right now. I just started a few minutes ago before I realized I had to do this. I'm like, oh crap, but it's pretty quiet. So
best in market. I have a Saturn myself.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Good stuff. So what's next for you? What's going to go on? What are you currently working on aside from the Halo? What's next for the business?
Well, I'm looking to kind of expand, probably stick with the 3D print and stuff like that, but I'm looking into my next big step will be probably a year or two down the road. I want to move into CNC plasma cutter. So
nice.
Which is outside the scope of this, I understand, but I've got some big plans for that. I just need to have the space available for something like that in a decent shop area. So that's down the road a little ways. But as far as the 3D printing end of it goes, I don't know. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot to expand because I'm pretty much at capacity right now with what I got. I mean, I'm booked up right now with resin work alone through about August. So
holy crap.
Yeah, it's nuts.
A good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless.
Yeah, I've got one customer. I think I got 16 individual projects to do for him right now. So
congratulations, man.
Yeah, he's a good customer. He's a great guy,
bro.
Locally, so that's kind of cool. I can always hand deliver the prints to him, and he's a great guy, good customer, a lot of fun. So
that's awesome. So you already have your workflow done, right? For FDM, you just pop the print right off, maybe take off some supports or whatnot. The thing with resin is you have to wash it and cure it, but the prints come out so much nicer.
Oh yeah. The difference in print quality is you can't compare them hardly. It's just
it's not even close, man. Plus, when you hold a resin print, you're like, man, I should charge more for this.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
People ask me why I don't charge much, and I thought I was charging.
You really should charge. You should charge accordingly per hour for the detail, for the design. I mean, you got to price all that in.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I do that. I got an Excel spreadsheet that keeps track of all that. I just punch in the amount of material and the time, and it tells me about how much I should charge. But
good,
I might
man. Good.
A little bit.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know business, and you don't even know if you're profitable, right?
Oh, I got lots of spreadsheets. So
nice. Cool, Matt. Hey, so what is your number one tip for everyone listening and watching us right now?
Before you start selling prints or taking commissions from other people, make sure you know what the heck you're doing. You have to know your machine. You have to know what it can do, what it can't do, what you can do. Because when I first started, like I said, I was, just selling some prints to some buddies and stuff like that. But some of them were coming out just, a complete car wreck. And people were like, hey, where's my print? Where's my print? Oh, well, my heater went out or this, or my nozzle got clogged, or I ran out of material. Those aren't excuses. And I've had to use them from time to time because they're true. It does happen. But if you can have a few spare parts on hand and a fair stock of material, I've got about 20 rolls in stock at all times. And you can't count on being able to run down to the local micro center, which is an hour drive for me, and pick up material in the middle of the week.
No, you can't.
A week or two before they restock sometimes. I've gone in there before and there wasn't a single box of PLA Plus in the store. and that's all I print. I don't print ABS. I don't do PETG. I don't do polycarbonate. Don't do nylon. I only do PLA plus. And for everything I've done to this point, it's worked great. I've got stuff that's outdoors 24/7, 365 days a year. It's outdoors. I've got a hitch cover I made for my truck. Really simple, basic thing. It's been on my truck for years. My wife has one as well. Been on her truck for years. PLA plus works great. A little faded, but after 3 years in the weather in Michigan, I can't blame it. So
cool, man. Sweet. So Matt, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the time.
Maybe in the future I'll check on you again. See how those armor, see how all that stuff is going.
I'll be around. So, hey man, I'll send you a message in a few minutes. You gotta check something out.
For sure. Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Matt. Later, okay. Man.
Talk to you later, man. Have a good night.
All right, so that was today's episode, and now we're going to do a product idea. So today's product idea is going to be drone bodies. Now, drones are these really lightweight bodies where they have propellers on, you know what a drone is. And a lot of them are just kits, and a lot of them want custom bodies, right? So what you can do is you can 3D print them because the materials is light enough that you guys can make a drone body and just put the parts in and do that. And the drone industry is hot, man. There's all kinds of drones out there now, and a lot of them want customization to make the drones look, really cool. So if you're in the drone industry, if you're in the drone space, how can you do 3D printing and drones together? So that's something to think about. That's today's product idea or tip, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Again, all the links from the show is in the description below if you're in YouTube, and in the show notes if you're in a podcast player. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, if you guys want to know how to start a 3D printing side hustle, or if you want to scale your existing 3D printing side hustle, visit me at 3dprintedprofits.com for more details. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.